Good morning, class. So today we will be talking about the next topic, which is your production planning and control. So you might be thinking, okay, this is something which we learned earlier. So what we were looking was we were studying production planning as a separate thing and production control as a separate function. All right. Now, when we club both together, we derive the PPC function, or production planning and controlling. Please don't forget the short form also, because certain question papers they just ask you what is PPC. So at that time, don't bring out your own definition. Rather, you should know what does it mean. Production planning and control function. Okay. So let's move on. The basic thing about production planning and control is just like how the term says and how we have been discussing earlier. This is where you try to find out, okay, what are the resources available to you, all right, and then you need try to do your manufacturing operation using those resources, but also you have to see how well can you allocate so that you get the best product in the best quantity, in the best quality, and at the least cost. So production planning and control is all about getting or arranging the resources for your manufacturing operation and see to it they are being properly allocated. So end of the day, you get a desired or you get the right product with the right quantity, right quality, but at the least cost. Production operation management is all about reducing the cost. So this cost factor has a lot of importance. All right, so let's move. So the first one is your definition. Let's read through it. Production planning and control is the process of planning or deciding on the resources the firm will require for its future manufacturing operations, okay, and allocating and time scheduling these resources to produce the desired products on time and at the least cost. So here it's all about deciding or planning the resources for the manufacturing operation, and then you try to allocate them, that is in a way effectively utilize them. Okay, we can call it by time scheduling as this itself, because we'll be learning about a function called time scheduling or scheduling. So there you understand the time factor, but for now just leave it there. So this means to say that you arrange your resources you for your manufacturing operation, and then you have to see to it they are being allocated properly. Only if they are efficiently allocated and utilized, only then you will get the right product in the right quality, right quantity, and with the least cost. Now, so this PPC can be called as a summation of the production and control activities. It is a very crucial component of your organization. Without proper production planning and control, production will not happen in a smooth way. Okay, that is why it is very important. So let's move on. We learn about different phases of PPC. So the entire function can be divided into three main phases. The first one is planning phase, second is the action phase, and third is the control phase. So you have got the chart which lists out most of the things. If you can't see few of them, the slide would be shared. Okay, so here what it means to say is for your planning phase, just like how the term says, you try to plan out in what way should the production happen. Okay, you try to find out the sequence of procedure. So you have to understand to get the output, okay, with the least cost, what is the best procedure. For example, if I have 5 methods of making the same product, for making this mouse I have 5 different production methods. Okay, how do I pick up the right one? I compare each production process and see which one gives the least cost, and based on that I consider it to be good or optimum, and then I go for the procedure. So planning is where you have to jot down the production sequence and see that you get the best quantity and with the least cost. You need to get the best output with the least cost. Cost is a very important factor. Now, so there are two types. We have pre-planning and active planning. All right. Pre-planning is where all the initial things that we learned in the subject, how to set up your plant location, your plant layout, what type of product do you want to produce, what is the product that you're looking for, how to design the product, all those planning which happens before you even start the production, we call it as pre-planning. So in the chart you have few examples, like you find planning phase, you divide into prior or pre-planning is the same thing. So you can see the different decisions like product development is there, product design, forecasting, like expecting what is the production to happen, master scheduling, then the market no material requirement planning, which we learned in inventory control. So these are the things which fall into place, which has to be considered even before you start the production. And once production starts, what is the plan? Planning doesn't stop there. Planning has to go on throughout the production. So you can plan as to how much of inventory we need. Okay, what is the quantity to be produced? All right, then what time should it start? All those. So the pre-planning refers to the planning procedure to be undertaken before the production process starts, and product that is the initial planning, your plant layout, location, where to install the machines and all that. Once the production activity starts, that is where we pull in active planning. So there you can decide, okay, what type of materials, in what, how much quantity should the raw materials be fed, what is the production time to be taken, and all that. In like for each stage of production, they'll fix the time. That is called as scheduling. So these are the processes which you consider for your active planning. Is it clear to you? So planning phase is all about setting in the right procedure, production procedure, so that you get the best output. All right. Now, yeah, the second one is action phase. So once the planning is done, we have to make workers to manufacture the product. All right. So here, when you try to implement that plan, we call it as action phase. Okay. We have a process for it, which we will discuss in the next topic, after this class, in the next class, which talks about dispatching, which is where you try to implement this concept, whatever is done in planning, and you finally put it into action. So planning is all about setting the plans for the production process. Action phase is where the worker has to start working. All right. So we are going to implement the plan through the workers. They'll be doing the actual work. Our job is to implement it within the production procedure. Any changes or any new plans to be made has to be quickly implemented. All right. Then the third one is control phase. Control phase, like how we learned about conversion system, control system back in the first chapter, if you guys remember, wherein we have to understand what is the status of production uh, as of now. Okay. And others also, what is the material control to be practiced in the organization, what type of inventory control method should we use, how to control the material handling process. So everything, this this phase is a very crucial phase, because here we are doing each and everything to reduce the cost. All right, to reduce the cost, or if cost cannot be reduced in some way or the other, some costs are just like fixed like that, but what you can do is exercise some control over these costs. There are two forms. First is progress reporting. Progress reporting is we report the status, current status of what is happening. All right, you start the production at 8 o'clock. You are supposed to come out with all the set of units by 5 p.m. By 12 you check, by 12 noon you check the status as to how much of units have been produced so far. So this gives you an estimate of what is the status of production during that particular time. Okay. And corrective action, if suppose the planning has gone wrong, or in the action phase the worker has not understood the instructions or not understood the plan and has gone a bit off direction, then a corrective procedure should be implemented, wherein those deviations has to be identified. They have to understand what is the cause and then rectify it. So these are the three phases of PPC. I hope it is clear. What are the objectives of PPC? Why exactly do you need PPC? The first one is planning of production. All right, planning of production is required because, see, every manufacturing firm, one thing which is very important to them is a sales forecast. They need to decide what should be the sales for this month, what should be the sales for the next month. If they don't work on those numbers, that is going to create a problem with the profit. All right. So in order to ensure, for example, the management says 50 units is our capacity to produce. We need to end up with 50 units for this month to be sold by the end of the month. All right. So what do? I have to plan the production procedure so that I can achieve those targets of 50 units. Okay, so production planning is very crucial because whatever numbers or estimate or the forecast is being made, in order to achieve those forecasts, you have to plan your production. You cannot let it go as and when it is required. No, then you will not be able to maintain the deadline, or you might not end up with the right quantity of products. You might even say land up only with 30 units rather than 50 units. So based on your targets, you have to plan your procedure so that you can achieve these targets. Is it clear to you? Yes? Okay. Second is providing the M's of operation. So when we started off with material management, we talked about a lot of M like money, methods, men, machines, material, and all of that, right? So all those are the key resources for any organization. All right, the machine, method, men, materials, and all of them, and money. Yes. So all those are very much crucial to the organization. But if you want to properly utilize all these resources, you need PPC, because PPC is one thing which includes all the resources. They try to allocate in what way can each resource be used, in what way can material be effectively used, in what way can we efficiently utilize the procedure method, in what way the men can be used, and all that. So this PPC plays a very important role in getting the M's of operations, all these M's, properly and efficiently utilized within the firm. Third one, scheduling the production program. So if I have 5 stages of producing this mouse, then I have to see each stage should start at what time, end at what time. Okay. Second stage should start at what time, end at what time. That is why you have a timetable even in your college. Every class is for 1 hour. We start from 8:50 to 9:50, then till 11:50, 3 hours go on, then we have a lunch break, and then classes don't start at 12:50, they start at 12:30, so that we can finish everything by 2:30, 3:30. Okay, so everything has been given a starting point and an ending point. If right after 11:50 we had a class from 11:50 to 12:50, 12:50 to 1:50, 1:50 to 2:50, and all that, you miss out on your lunch break. A break is not given to you, right? So it is very important to fix a timetable or a schedule, whatever you call it. You can call it either ways. So in order to schedule your production program, you need to see what, now you come back from the class example, you need to understand like stage 1 of production should start at what time and at what time, because we need to fix that time. Only when it ends can I start the next production. So if I let the first stage take whatever time it wants, maybe 1 hour or 2 hour or 3 hour, then the other stage would be delayed. Then all the other stages following it will all be delayed. All right. So it is very important to use PPC in scheduling the production program. Integrate interdepartmental work. Within the production department, you have different departments. There might be some departments who is in charge of the first stage of production, some for second stage, some for third stage. Okay, PPC plays a role of a common code of conduct for all the departments. Yes. So every department should coordinate with each other. For example, if you're related to the previous point where I said first stage of production should say be completed within that stipulated 1 hour time, right? If they fail to do so, the second stage would be affected. So here it is important that all the departments are very much coordinated. How can you do that? By ensuring that there's a proper production planning and control. Everyone follows the rules, whatever is listed in the plan, they implement it really well. If that thing happens, end of the day, whatever the organization plans to have their finished goods or the stock, everything can be produced on time in the right quality, quantity, and everything. Yes, for example, in the production department, one department is not agreeing to the protocol given in PPC. For example, quality department. They feel, okay, I don't fall in line with the policy. I'm going to reduce my quality standard. Okay, maybe they are in conflict with other departments, whatever be the reason. Production happens, but if quality control is not maintaining that, is not doing their function properly, then you might land with a lot of defective products. So in each way, even though the departments might be different, it is very important that they are coordinated. Otherwise, you won't land with the right product in the right quantity and right quality. You might not land up with it, you will not land up with it. So it is very important that all the interdepartmental work is very much integrated and they have some sort of coordination. Meeting of delivery commitment. When you say that you have to sell 50 units by the end of today, you have to check and you have to ensure that those 50 units are produced. You cannot simply put in certain, this is related to the very first point. So you cannot simply say that, okay, 50 units is today's target, but it's okay, let's keep 30 units. Okay, we'll finish up with 30 units for today. That is against the norm. That is not allowed. You can't do it. Because see, if you are not able to, if you have a demand outside for selling 50 units, you make up only 30 units, many customers do not get the product. So they will leave the organization. You might think, okay, maybe we'll get another 50 units the next day. No, that's not the case. We are not only talking about consumer goods, like maybe a soap, toothpaste, which you can afford to buy maybe the next day or another time. But no, we are also talking about industrial manufacturing. Every type of manufacturing is being considered here. So when, suppose I am a supplier, what do I do? Example, yeah. No. The phone. All right. So if suppose, just an example, this cover comes with this. Okay, this is the final product. I am in charge of making this. My organization is in charge of making this cover, and I am supposed to supply it to another organization. Yes. They are asking for 50 units or 50 phone covers. I make only 30 phone covers. So when I send it to them, are they able to sell all their products? Because they have to sell a product only with the, they have to sell the phone only with the phone cover. So here I'm not meeting my delivery commitment. When something has to be is promised, it is meant to be kept, not to be broken. All right. So here meeting the delivery commitment is very important. Like if I'm supplying these, I would lose the customer if he understands, okay, this person is not capable of fulfilling his commitment. Let me move on to another supplier. I lose my client. Yes. So all this is required. Signal the damages. PPC provides a very effective tool for quality checks, quality control. They try to see that all the standards are being maintained. They compare the standard with the actual performance. If there's a difference, they find out what is the cause and then they take corrective action. So this is a result of all the PPC functions. I hope it is clear. What is the importance of PPC? Why is it so important? What is the entire thing all about? First thing is the base of development of an economy. We have learned about underdeveloped countries, developing countries, developed countries. Even though they might be just notions, but still there is one thing which sets them apart. The ones which are, which are called as underdeveloped or the third world countries, those have an issue. That is, the country is not poor. No, the country is usually abundant in almost all the resources. In terms of all availability of resources, key resources for all the industries, everything is available. But the people over there do not know what is the potential. They cannot effectively utilize it. Alright. So PPC ensures that PPC, if it is put into a proper implementation, it ensures that resources are being effectively utilized. We repeat this point, right, even in the definition. So if resources are known to be effectively utilized, the production of goods and services will also happen properly, right? You use the resources well, you get good set of goods and service which has better quantity and quality and all that, right? You can generate a demand in your country with those good goods and service. Okay, There are people who go for a lot of imported things because they feel the domestic product is not up to the mark. So if you can make the domestic product up to the mark, people are more than ready to buy the product, as a result of which the economy builds up. Okay, that is why PPC, even though it is very much limited to an organization, you might feel it's limited to an organization. End of the day, when you take all the contribution of all the industries, only if they have a proper PPC thing implemented in all the manufacturing firms, only then they come with good standard goods and service. That is where the people of the country would prefer those goods. Even people outside might prefer those goods. So if this thing all about economics, having the right goods to satisfy the right demand of customers, this happens, the development of economy gradually increases. Okay. Second is nervous system of factory organization. Simple example. When you were small, okay, maybe you touched a hot vessel and it caused discomfort, it caused pain for you, and you, maybe when you were really young, okay, and you must have left your hand. You might be subject to a lot of stimulus like this. You might have touched something very cold, oh, you felt it's too cold. You might have had ice cream, it might have hurt your teeth and all that. Yes, so if you take the biological constituent of it, the first time you have such reaction, that is where you get to know, okay, you cannot touch a hot vessel because you'll feel pain. You cannot have something very cold because it is very sensitive to your teeth and all that. So your nervous system would get adjusted to these changes. All right. And each time, so the next time you go and touch a hot vessel, the nervous system tells you, don't touch it. You know what happened last time. Yeah. So why do we relate it here is where, because if you have a PPC, a proper production planning and control, if you can maintain all the schedule process, like stage 1 happens on time, stage 2 happens on time, stage 3 happens on time, if the organization is successful in achieving it, it becomes a routine, it becomes a habit, right? It becomes a very clear habit. All right. So when you do something repeatedly, it becomes a habit and it has got a very good output in the terms of a desired output with a best quality, least cost and all that. PPC can be considered to be a very crucial function. If PPC was not there, if one day production starts at 8 o'clock, tomorrow it starts at 9 o'clock, again it starts at 7 o'clock the next day. So this thing is not proper. There's no uniformity, right? So PPC acts as the central nervous system because it can effectively transform the organization in making it better. That is why we call it nerve system of factory organization. Foundation of intermittent process industry, especially a batch production and various other types of production system. PPC is more or less important because we have discussed this earlier in production controlling, wherein we understood that intermediate process includes a lot of material, lot of machines. We are using general purpose equipment, like intermediate is batch production, by the way. We use general purpose and specific purpose. All right. So there are a lot of materials compared to the usual continuous flow of production or your job shop production. Intermediate has a lot of materials, a lot of different machines, different equipment, different people working on this and all that. Only if PPC is present in such industries, only then these industries can perform better. So PPC compared to all production system is a very high importance in intermediate process or batch production. Effective instrument of cost control. So like I mentioned, cost control is one aspect, cost reduction is one aspect. Yes, organizations aim at cost reduction, but sometimes most of the costs are semi-fixed or fixed, so that we cannot change those costs. They are constant. But what you can do is you can control the cost. Okay. How do you control the cost? By ensuring that there is no added cost. If work doesn't happen on, or let's take material handling for example. If materials don't get delivered at the point of production at the right time, production does not start. Simply you're adding on to the cost. Why do it? Rather see that PPC is being properly implemented and see that no additional unwanted and unnecessary costs are being evolved. So this can be used as a method of cost control. Rationalizes and streamlines production activities. PPC says stage 1 happens, only then stage 2 happens, only then stage 3 happens. So what does PPC do? It tries to determine what is the flow of materials, what is the flow of production which is to happen. Okay, based on this flow, they will allocate the machines or people. So they understand what is the material flow, from which end to which end does it go, which all machines does it get passed on to. Suppose a procedure is very complex in say stage 3, then PPC understands, okay, we have to employ more operators to see whether it is happening properly, because this machine might say make mistakes, or it is a very complex procedure. So here what it does is, based on the different stages of production, based on the plan made, they try to understand that the production should happen smoothly. Wherever necessary, they will allocate further resources, but in an efficient manner. Not more of resources, not less of resources. Whatever is best for that particular stage of production, they would implement it. Benefits the customers. If your products, if you follow a very good PPC policy, you get the best product, then the people are satisfied end of the day. So customers are happy, they are brand loyal to it. They'll tell other customers, okay, the production is very good. Suppose I'm a supplier, I'm giving the phone covers to say Oppo. Okay, Oppo is happy with my service. Oppo tells another company, say Vivo. I'm just giving examples. Vivo, no, Samsung. So Samsung say they tell, okay, he's a very good supplier. Always he or she is a very good supplier. Always supplies the right quantity in the right thing. So we Samsung is also like, okay, fine, let me try the product, and they'll come and approach me for the material. So when this is done, we can say that it benefits the customers. In a way, it also benefits you. Benefits the employees. Employees are trained in a way to act as per the plan. They are given a direction to implement the plan in the best possible way. They are given a clear understanding, even the low level workers, that if you guys don't work properly, the organization's profit is affected. So they understand, okay, they are directly contributing to the profits of the organization, which might create a sort of urge or a motivation to work in a better way. And if they work in a better way, sometimes they get a lot of incentives and a lot of bonus. So for all these incentives and all of this sense of contribution, that they're directly contributing to the profits of the firm, this would help the employees. And if things happen on time, we can reduce the idle time for them. Okay, they can effectively use their brain or whatever to do the production in a really good manner. Okay, then benefits the producer, benefits the industry in all these ways. So customers are satisfied, they are happy, including employees. Employees work really smooth. They understand that they try to work on the commitment with the organization. Organization can always benefit from such asset. All right, whatever resources is required, the organization or the producers or the employers would go and get them. So because they understand, once they get these resources, they would be efficiently used. So with that thing in head, they are more than happy to get the resources as and when required. Then benefits to investing class. This can also be linked with the previous point, wherein suppose I'm the owner or I'm the investor in one manufacturing firm. I give my money so that they can buy the machines and whatever, right? When I invest something, I expect a return on investment or a return for that money, a very good capital return on this money. So when I understand that the PPC is happening properly, as an investor, I'm sure, okay, production is happening smooth as per the plan. They are getting the best output, best quality, best quantity, less cost, which means lot of demand, customers are satisfied, lot of profits for the firm. I'll get a very good return. So this is the investor block of it. Okay, and then benefits the community. Community or the society is where any organization is always liable to. We are using raw materials like water, air, or whatever, which is for the community or for the society. We are actually using up the common resources for our own needs. So if we are using them, we have to give them back something which is better. So we need to give them, say, products which have a better quality so that the customers within that particular community or society are happy. We can also give them a lot of employment opportunities. Yes, when you have a new industry setting up in a remote area, for example, Kia in Anandpur, they are offering employment opportunities to others as well, right? So the people over there are happy that this is happening. They understand, okay, because of Kia we would be known for something else in the future. The world will know us in this way, that we have a Kia manufacturing unit there. We are given employment opportunities and all that. So when you accrue all the benefits of the community aspect, PPC has a very crucial role. It ensures that all the benefits goes to each of those classes. It goes to customers, employees, producers, investing class, and also community. Is it clear to you? All right.